Shalom Rastafari, Assalamu Alaikum, peace to the kings and the queens and the earth. Again, how's everybody doing today on this Tuesday? Hope everyone had a great weekend and a great day today. Stay safe out there. We know what the situation is, so please be safe. If you do have kids who are participating, make sure they're okay. Make sure you check their candy, as always, and make sure you also just watch out. It's a good reason for people to wear masks and do some funny style shit on this holiday, this pagan holiday. So just be careful and, like I said, watch yourself. And that goes into coincide what I'm want to talk to today is you're going to see it, but we are all at war. That is my talk today. We are all at war. And most people think, or maybe because they have a blind eye to society, or maybe because they themselves and their family are in a good place, so they could really care less about what is really going on because it's not really affecting them. Because once you get to a level of, you don't have to be rich. You can just be a person who is satisfied with what they have in their life and really don't really want to mess with anybody else. They could care less about empowering anybody that maybe looks like you or has the same interests as you, or maybe you're just worried about yourself, and that's okay. That's your choice. But if you are somewhat of an empath, if you are somewhat of a person who really accepts energy, in tune with energy, if you are even somewhat spiritual, even if you're religious, if you're a person who really has a militant type of lifestyle, you already know that we are under attack. And people like to say, well, it isn't war, because they want to obviously reference what's going on overseas in the Palestine or Hamas, Israel, or really what's going on in Sudan, what has been going on in Sudan before even this Hamas and Israel fight, what's been going on in Africa for years, what's been going on in countries like this, and all the wars that have been happening in Europe, the wars that have been happening unannounced where we haven't seen. People reference that. And it's easy to get distracted by that because that is war, obviously. But if you don't think that you are constantly under somewhat of attack, whereas it be your mental, your spiritual, and physical. To me, especially as a Black person, we are constantly under attack. And this isn't to victimize anything. This is just to make people aware of what mindset you need to be in. Now, when I say being in war, doesn't mean you walk outside and be on some militant shit. That's for other people. To be honest with you, that's for me, and I relish in that. I don't really care about being on the front line. I don't really care about being in an area where there's racist people running around with guns and Confederate flags trying to intimidate. I don't care about that. You can try that. That just makes me mad. That stuff like this is happening to me currently. So people who are listening, who really listen, they know what it is. And I relish in that because ultimately I have, a respect and a fear, but I don't really fear dying or fear really anything of that nature. I have respect. I'm not going to put myself in situations where controversy is continuously happening and I'm looking for it. I mean, that's just sometimes you're just living, and as a Black person, you could be living and you can just be attacked. And other people can be attacked too, but right now, recently, in my stage and from my point of view and what I've gone through in my life and what I've seen and everyone who's in my circle, we've all gone through the same thing. Now, that's just my basic thing. That's what I'm talking about. I'm at, war with that situation, I feel. And I'm also in war in society. They are attacking your water. They are attacking your food. They are making food more expensive. They're making jobs hard to get. They are making, the pressure is put on. The separatism as far as classing is getting further and further. And they are also, manipulating in the education in all fronts, really coming after the kids. This isn't war. I don't know what is. And you don't have to have weapons as far as the pews or the guns or whatever to really know that you're not in war. You can literally, be politically getting things done, or even business-wise. There's war going on too. and health-wise especially. What is being promoted on social media or TV or even billboards, or even what's, shoved down people's throats as far as visions, as far as, if you never notice, your algorithm always changes this moment into trash. If you ever click your situation into a picture or display or something like that, your whole algorithm changes, especially if it's for trash. Now, if it's for health, it usually doesn't really change that fast, right? But when it's for certain other things, maybe, you may not even click it. Next thing you know, it's popping up on your timeline. So there is a huge influx in fuckery, because fuckery also sells. And if we're all just trying to make ends meet, and they keep us, in that situation, keep the people in that middle class where we're always someone fighting for position or fighting for better lives or fighting for better money, we can then in turn have a blind eye when it comes to specific subjects. And we can also not realize that we are in a situation where we're in war. Again, if you can't even drink the water, if you have, possible things being shot inside of your vegetables, so even the healthy food isn't as healthy as possible. If you are, again, I've never seen, I'm in the 80s and 90s when there's been just an attack on testosterone as far as men, and you can tell what it is. It's mental, it's physical, literally, and it's almost like it would. Why wouldn't it be? If they always keep saying the world is overpopulated, why wouldn't they want men with less testosterone to be running around? Because we'd be, less likely to reproduce. So, I've never seen that attack, and that need was created, but it's something that's really serious. And people like to attach war to I understand, but to me, I really leave the house. I leave, my room, even, or I leave that situation, being on militant all the time. I relish in it. I know the code now. I'm not going to be surprised ever. I have been surprised again. I've taken my lumps. This isn't something that is fun. Anybody knows that when you're doing things and you're putting yourself out there, or you're willing to stand up for what you believe in, that comes with a consequence that you have to be ready for, and I'm ready for that. I've always have been, and that's because I realize the time that I'm in, right? There's a lot of people who they jump out of there and they try to do things and not really realizing that, this is a vicious world. Nobody cares about you, on that level. There's a lot of people who are good friends. There's a lot of people who got your back. And that circle is very tight. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, a lot of people don't give a fuck about you. They could care less. So you should really, be at war with that. Like, be at war with a person you don't care about me. We at war, which means you stay on your side and I stay on mine. You don't come over here and affect my situation, and I won't affect yours. And if you do come over here and try to affect my situation, this might be met with a little bit more aggression than what you're used to, because I don't have time to play anymore. It doesn't mean you walk around with a temper. It doesn't mean you go crazy. It doesn't mean you sit here and treat people disrespectfully, but you also have your guard up to a certain degree. And I can honestly say that I'm glad I wear glasses, or I'm glad I operate in just point A to point B situations. I'm not cruising here and doing specific things. I stay around people who I know got my back and love me. I stay close to people, and I don't really need to acquire a bunch of friends. So that's basically it, man. It's just, thanks for y'all for listening. It's just know that we are at war, and to protect yourself. I had a podcast about this before, but I'm really serious about it. And basically, just go and forget it. We have to realize where we're at. And people just like to think that life is good, but mentally you could be at war and you know it. Physically, you could be at war, you know it. Spiritually, you could be at war and you know it. Financially, you could be at war and you know it. It's almost like you have to have that militant mindset and get on code, where it's a 24/7 situation, because that's what war really is. You're on code. You're on call. You don't play. And that's what my people, and that's what I know what I'm in. And that's what I know I'm going to stay in for the rest of my life. Y'all have a great day, and stay safe out there.